So can you just introduce yourself? Let us know your name and what side you go to, how long you've been coming to GCC.
Okay, my name is Mike. I'm part of Bergen. I've been attending GCC for about 5 years now. So it all started with the mentoring trip. Yeah, I mean, when they made the announcement, I just was thought that it would be a good idea to go to a different country. Even though it was for people who was interested for the church plant, it seemed like they were open to other people who wanted to just go for the mentoring aspects. So I decided to go. But yeah, and I think God just had other plans for me. Definitely while I was there, I just felt convicted about the church plant. So I started looking through different avenues of how I'm going to make it. But my only option at the time was to go back to school, as a student. I really didn't care what school or what program I was going to do. I just wanted to make sure that I had the visa, to get into the country. After I decided that I was going to commit, I only had about 12 months to prepare. I knew that I had to move out of my house, get rid of what I was paying for rent, for a car, and all of these things. But in order to do that, I had to sell all of my belongings, move out of my apartment, break the lease, sell my car, and then move into my mom's place because that would be the only way that I can save for rent and stuff like that. I got rid of everything, because I was determined I'm gonna make this work. The original plan for me was that I would stay back for a year and save, enough money for my tuition and living costs and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, in March, we had this pandemic. Everyone went into lockdown, so everything was just just up in the air. I was furloughed for like 3 months, but when I came back to work in June, um, the amount of sales that I was doing, within a month was like about 3 times as much as I was doing pre-pandemic. And during that time of during furlough, I was, praying to God, like, God, how am I going to be able to, save enough money, with the timeline and the amount that I'm currently making, it's not going to be enough. You know, within 1 year, I saved up my entire tuition for 3 years. You know what I mean? But that's all because God was already, He had planned everything for me from the beginning. And even the job that I have now, it's a new job. I only been working there for 1 year. So when I decided to go commit to a church plant, I just started that job. And God really just opened a lot of doors for me.
But why church planting?
Why church planting?
You can do anything.
That's a good question. I guess for me, it was just really doing something for God. Whether or not if I can really give up the things that like my lifestyle right now and really just give up everything to follow Jesus. And for the first time in my life, I really want to give everything, that I can, including my life, to follow Jesus to Australia, when He calls me. I think the hardest thing about waiting is not knowing of when you're going to go. So it feels like it's just an eternity. So I just feel like I'm stuck in a bubble, where time doesn't really move. I'm still living, I'm still working, but every day feels like the same day. I literally wake up every day thinking about Australia, praying about Australia, and that's all I do.
So you've been waiting since November 2019, and now it's January 2021. So is it still worth it?
I don't know about now, but I think I would know when I'm there. I think I'm desperate to follow Jesus.
How desperate?
I'm pretty desperate. I mean, if I'm willing to go through all these things, you know, I'm pretty desperate. You know, I think I gave up a lot. I sacrificed a lot. I don't think that, you know, it wasn't worth it. You know, even if I don't go or whatever the situation happens, I think at the end of the day, knowing that I tried to really live my life to follow Jesus is worth it.